How is everyone feeling about Donald Trump officially being under arrest? That guy from Home Alone 2? Wow. Just goes to show ya really never can tell. I bet the lobby wasn't even down the hall to the left. I know you're kidding. But it's annoying to me because that's actually not where the lobby is in the plaza. Dunno why they couldn't just say, to the right, instead, which would be accurate, especially when Kevin even turns right in the movie source. I like Home Alone a bit too much. If I recall correctly, he had a different line, couldn't get it right, so they gave him the lobby line and he still flubbed it a bit. I've been hurt before. Oh come on baby, we live in a country where rule of law matters and actions have consequences. Never again am I trusting my heart to Lady Justice. Lady Justice signed an NDA. Lady Justice is sometimes kinda like that meme of the puppet looking sus. Great. Now let's start going after all politicians and other government officials. Wait until he actually faces any consequences before scaring our elected officials, otherwise they'll do everything they can to prevent it. Well, this is actually why the Trump thing is pretty much unprecedented. Historically, they have rarely gone after each other for anything because if we really wanted to we could put most all of them in prison for one thing or another. They've already all been doing everything they can to prevent it for decades. They've built an entire infrastructure within the law and systems of government that protects them and allows them to get away with just about anything. Generations of politicians and wealthy, powerful people. This is what I want to. If Trump is guilty then that's good, but let's go after every corrupt political asshole. Annoyed Donald Trump is back in the news. Honestly asking here, has there been a point in the last 8 years where he wasn't in the news? I'm in Europe, so admittedly I'm not sure how it's been in the US. But it's more that you could finally avoid him if you wanted to. He was banned from social media platforms which drastically reduced clickbait articles about him. And aside from his role in the uprising at the White House, he wasn't a top story very often, and it felt like there were many consecutive weeks, if not months, where he was nothing more than an afterthought thrown into the odd piece here and there. It was nice for all the noise to go away so we could start concentrating on the signal again. Edit. Apology, capital, not White House. Poor error on my part. The press needs Trump like Batman needs the Joker. I just wish more people understood that he's being charged for things that he did before he became president, for using campaign money as his own piggy bank, something politicians are frequently accused of, but rarely seem to be held accountable for. Of course, I don't expect anyone to change their opinion of the man, or their potential vote. That ship has long sailed. Edit. We have better information now and I was wrong. For the indictments, the hush money payments continued through 2017. I thought all this stuff with Cohen's trial happened before then. Apparently covering up evidence of a crime as a business expense is frowned upon. If I recall correctly, the charge isn't for using campaign funds. The problem is if you use money to pay for something for the benefit of your campaign, it has to be accounted for, and if it wasn't accounted for, that's a campaign finance violation. Let's wait and see what all the other charges are, but that specific charge likely won't lead to anything more than a fine. More specifically, it's falsifying the records by marking them incorrectly to hide them, and the charges were upgraded to felonies because they were falsified in order to hide or further another crime, presumably the campaign finance crime, which would likely be federal. I couldn't care less about this one. What I would like to see him get arrested for is the phone call he made to GA officials telling them to find him votes. I'm with you here. He should be tried for all crimes, but I really wish they'd actually nail him for the really egregious ones. Hopefully these crimes will remove him from the category of no prior convictions when it comes to sentencing for the really egregious crimes. It seems that the current main talking point in conservative media is, if they are allowed to go after him, they're going to come after you next. Was I allowed to commit crimes freely before today? I sure hope they come after anyone breaking the law just the same. I fully expect to be held accountable for my actions. Waiting for Georgia. What I like is the counter-argument about Hunter Biden whatevers. Like bruh, if he also is breaking the law, arrest him too idgaff. None of us have a cult-like relation to any politician the way these Trump supporters do. This opens the door for any former president to be prosecuted. Oh, nice. Promise? This opens the door for any former president to be prosecuted. Okay then, that was always allowed. I'm at a local bar where 99 days out of 100 the TV is on Fox News. Today it's on FKN Jeopardy, the other days it's usually just off. No one is watching. At all. Time to find a new bar, my dude. Who the hell plays Fox News 24/7 at bars? People are there to get drunk, not listen to Muppets. I'd be annoyed as shit if they played CNN or MSNBC too. That's just weird as hell. Good. Now arrest other politicians who are doing illegal shit. Nobody is above the law. That's what we are told, now it's time to prove it. Unless you are rich, famous, an athlete, hold a position of power, or know the right people. But other than that, no one is above the law. Yeah, the reality is there are people above the law. People with enough money to own the bogus legal system. Can't stand the guy, but it's embarrassing and pathetic that our governmental institutions let this get this far out of hand. The guardrails seem flimsy, but now it's obvious that they always wear. It's imperative that we develop some sort of reforms to avoid this circus from ever happening again. Otherwise, it's just a matter of time before someone far worse gains the full might and power of the presidency. I agree. I want all politicians to start being held accountable and forced to follow the same laws the rest of us have to abide by. Let this be the start if it. I don't care if it's Biden, or Hillary or MTG, I want them all held accountable if they commit crimes. I just want him to go away. Not die, just go the fuck away. No more interviews or rallies. No more MAGA incels and hillbillies. Just go the fuck away. And yet he's apparently raking in the dollar because of this shit and apparently has some sort of speech planned for tonight. If the judge throws a gag order on him and he gets another charge for violating it less than 12 hours after his arraignment, I'll never stop laughing. I'm pretty sure my parents are livid and probably think I'm behind it somehow. Thank you for doing what you did. Send them a text that says, "You were right, I was wrong, I finally saw proof Trump won the popular vote." Then wait at least 40 seconds and hit them with, "Too bad it was a grand jury." Quote. Nobody should be above the law. It's a good appetizer, but I want a full-course meal. It's a disappointing day when a former president gets arrested for any reason. But we are at a point in this country politically where we have to show the people that no one is above the law. I don't know if any of this is going to stick. This seems relatively low bar to chase, but it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. We'll see. As a native New Yorker, I've perceived him as a great con artist for decades before he ran for office. Part of me is glad he is finally getting his comeuppance. Another part is deeply saddened by the stain this will leave on the presidential office and whether this will be looked back on similar to Nixon and Watergate. I worry about how this will further divide the country. I still can't wrap my head around how we got to the point where Trump and Biden are our primary options for leadership in this country. His arrest is pretty meaningless. He'll either delay forever or plead out and pay some minor fine. I can't envision a world where, if he is imprisoned, he doesn't spend out his stay at a prison golf course and spend his nights posting on his Truth account. Otisville, the prison he would probably end up at, even offers a system where inmates can spend a week outside of prison with their families. Tennis courts, television, vending machines, you name it. He'll suddenly be too sick and old for jail, just like Harvey Weinstein tried to pull. Well, find out he's had dementia for a while, or he just got it, and a whole host of other issues. He's 76 and doesn't believe in exercise. It's shocking he made it past 60, much less another 2 to 4 years to see a trial. I remember he said during some interview that he doesn't exercise because he believes human beings have a finite amount of energy. He pretty much plays golf but otherwise tries to conserve his energy through inactivity. Something insane like that.